Hey YouTube fam. Uh so I just want to before I get into Zohran Mamdani and his fabulous speech about the 4th of July, I just wanted to say up front that I don't subscribe to any political party whatsoever. I'm not really a political guy. I do get into political conversations, but I don't subscribe to any of the two major parties, Democrat or Republican, nor am I independent, simply because neither party gives a rat's behind about anybody else's best interest. And I think at the core, at the heart of it all, we all know that. Deep down inside, we all know that. They're all being funded by corrupt campaign financiers and special interest groups to sway either way and get the job done from either direction. So we understand how that works. And so I'm just, I'm not that naive to think that little old me can have any type of influence on any of those political parties because they've already got the people in the background financing whatever they want to do from corrupt sources. So we know that. So with that being said, I'm not a political party person. I'll let you guys fight over what political party you belong to, even though they don't give a damn about any American whatsoever, any party. Um, I usually don't. Forgive me for cussing. I usually don't curse, but anyway, getting into Zohran Mamdani and his fabulous 4th of July speech. I want to start out with the first thing he said. He was going pretty hardcore. I mean, he really did his due diligence on this speech that he wrote. The first thing he was talking about is how we're the wealthiest country, wealthiest country in the history of the world. One where children go to sleep hungry while the world's first trillionaire hungers for more. I mean, that speaks volumes. And I appreciate him starting out with that point. And of course, the first trillionaire, he's speaking of Elon Musk. The second thing he said that hit home for me is he said, we see monopolies that dominate every industry and oligarchs who buy elections. He said, we see masked agents. Of course, he's speaking of ICE agents. We see masked agents terrorizing our streets, eating the food cooked by our undocumented neighbors, before dragging them away in unmarked vans. I mean, he was going deep. We see a nation whose immense wealth has been built by those with calloused, dirt-streaked hands, those who toil on factory floors and chisel into stone. And we see a nation that has allowed so much of that wealth to be held instead by the soft hands of a precious few. Whew, he got deep. I appreciate this man so much. Yes, we see America and a health insurance industry that exploits the sick, but that's not all we see, Mamdani said. When we look for America, we see it too. The nurse who works a double shift, we see that nurse who stops on her way back home from work to check on her ailing neighbor. He also said, Mamdani did, he said, yes, we see America and corporate landlords for whom negligence is a business model. Woo. We see it too, though, in the father who tucks his children into bed beneath a ceiling stained with leaks, who wakes before dawn to go to work and still believes his country can do better by his family. That's deep. Yes, we see America when we spend our tax dollars on bombs and bailouts, when we sell our elections to the highest bidder, which is true. Yet we see it just as clearly in every American who still believes this country belongs to we the people. A lot of people are saying that he hates America and he's anti-American and he's communist and he's a Marxist. And you only hear that from the upper middle class and the upper crust, for the most part, except for the uneducated people who fall victim to the false narratives of the Republicans and MAGA. But other than that, it's basically the upper crust of society who says that. And that's only because the everyday people of New York and abroad who voted him in as the mayor of New York City. They say that because the everyday people understand from a grassroots level that he stands for the everyday person, the everyday working class person. He sees us for who we are, and the upper crust does not like that because they are not for the working class. And so he broke through the cracks, and thank God for New York. And hopefully more states will elect mayors who are true blue, who cares about the working class, and who will say and who will speak truth to power as he did in that speech on the 4th of July. We got to ignore the oligarchs who try to spread these false narratives about mayors and governors and public servants who care about the people. We got to forget about the oligarchs who try to smear them and elect these type of people to cover us and protect us and enforce laws that keep us going as working class people.